Today, we're going to take this container-grown Japanese maple and plant it into the garden. Now, this tree has been in a container for approximately 15 years. We've, of course, put it into larger pots as it's grown throughout the years. This is a dwarf variety. It's the Beni Shishihenji. It's upright, growing to approximately 2 meters in height. So once I get it out of the pot here, it'll sit at about 1.5 meters. So I'm going to show you exactly how we do all of our potting from container into the garden. So here we go. Okay, so when you choose your location to place a Japanese maple into the garden, of course, the most important factor is good drainage. You don't want to plant it somewhere, of course, where you have a very, very heavy clay base in a low area of the garden that will have saturated water that sits for months during the late fall and winter period. Maples have a short fibrous root system. They like good drainage, and the location here gets approximately 2 to 3 hours of sunlight a day, which is fine for the tree I'm planting. Some trees prefer full sun, some prefer no sun. So make sure whatever variety of Japanese maple you are planting, you take that into consideration so you can get the optimum color and growth characteristics of the tree. So let's start digging. I'm just going to dig the hole a couple of inches or about 5 centimeters wider than the actual pot itself. This is nice soil, easy to dig. Okay, I've got the hole dug, and you can see I've hit a little bit of a clay base, which is actually ideal. We've got about 16 inches. Again, that's about 40 centimeters of nice topsoil. We hit the clay. That's just perfect because those lower fibrous roots of the maple will just feed off that clay all year round. Even during the really dry periods in the summer where there's no rain, there's always moisture in the clay. There's a couple of fine little roots and things that I dug through, which is not an issue at all for transplanting. Just cut through them. Okay, so now we're ready to take the container, pop the tree out, and set it in the hole. So I'll just get set up again and we'll get the tree in the ground. Okay, let's lift the tree out of the pot. Now we'll take a look. Lots of fibrous roots. I'm not going to touch these roots at all. The tree is actively growing. Don't want to upset anything. And again, there's no need to adjust or manipulate the roots. Now, one thing we do is we always throw a little bone meal into the base just to give it a little bit of a treat before it goes into the ground. And that's it. We'll never ever fertilize this tree now when it's in the garden. So I'm just going to drop it into the hole. and adjust it. Take a look. I'm just going to step back and have a look. Okay, that's looking really good. So now I'm just going to lift it out again and just throw a little bit of dirt in the bottom, as I don't want it that deep, and just mix it in with that bone meal a little bit. Drop it back. There we go. Now again, I want a nice vertical setting, so I'm going to lift it out again, as I'm going to put a wee bit more soil on this left back side. Just take a little handful, build it up there. There we go. Drop it back in. And it's sitting exactly where I think it needs to be. It's looking good. So now we'll just reset the camera and I'll show you how we pack the soil around it. Okay, now here's the last step. Now, often we'll just replace the soil that we dug out and put it back in. But in this case, because I had a lot of other fibrous roots and sticks that I took out of this hole, I'm just going to put in a nice fresh mix. It's just a combination of composted mulch and sand. We're just going to throw that on top. So first thing I do is I just throw it into the sides just a little bit. I'll take my hands and let's pack it in there so you fill all the little air pockets, because you'll feel the soil moving down. Give the tree a wee bit of a shake. Helps push that soil down. We'll do it again. Pack it lightly. Don't have to pack it hard. There we go. It's got a nice brand new home now. And I'll just top dress it with a couple more shovels, seeing that it's still a bit in the wheelbarrow. And now, because it's mid-April, the beauty is the ground itself is still fairly moist. If you're doing this type of transplanting in, July, August, you really need to water every day without exception, because that ground will be hard and dry. It's okay to do that as long as you're prepared to do the extra watering. Best times are spring, of course, and of course in the fall when the tree is dormant. Go ahead and plant it in the ground. So then now I'll just give it a bit of water. And that's going to do it. So hopefully this video helps you out. If you're going to go ahead and transplant one of your container grown specimens into the garden. Thanks again so much for watching.